Okay, today we're going to be refinishing the top side of this particular skillet. It's a Lodge brand. This side is flat. It has been used quite extensively at my house. We are going to skip doing this side for today. This side has these kind of cool fins on it. So what we're going to use to do this is this hand orbital sander. It might be easier to do this perhaps with an angle grinder. I don't have one on me today, so I'm not gonna, but this is a 5-inch 60 grit pad. I've got quite a number of different grits, 60, 100, 120, 150, 220, etc., so on and so forth. And then I've got triple and quadruple aught steel wool, if we get that far. As far as PPE, I've done another pan on this table, and this piece of wood here. And this piece of wood was basically brand new before I did that one, and you can see what happened to it. And a lot of those dark spots are sanding grit and a little bit of this finish here that is going to be ground completely off. And that crap gets on your fingers. My hands were completely covered in this dark material, both hands, twice yesterday. So don't have your coffee cup out, and if you want to wear a mask, go ahead. I'll say that I wore like a standard surgical mask, I'd say, kind of one of those blue masks you see like dentists wear and stuff. And I was blowing stuff out of my nose, black stuff out of my nose all afternoon, all evening, and this morning. So here's the pile of 30 discs that I ran through yesterday. Let me get that out there for you. Right, so there's a lot of material in the air when you're doing this, so be aware of that. I mean, here's an example. Right, so there's like a clean finger. Okay, there's a lot of material laying all over in here. So be aware of that. Cover up any kind of electronics, things like that you might not want this all in there, like your phone, for example. So I'll take a couple of videos here and there. I'm not going to show you any videos of me actually doing any of this grinding because I tried that with my last video and it's so loud. So I tried to speed it up and cover the video. I don't have any professional audio editing capability right now, so I can't easily show you what I'm doing, but suffice to say, we're going to start by going around the edges until we wear out the edge of this disc on this the edge here. Then we'll just work in the middle and try to use up the main part of the pad right here. Okay, on a skillet, like a skillet pan, or like a pan, I guess. I started on the outside every time, and that wore out the outside of this. And then when I was done, I would just kind of chill out in the middle and take out the middle. So I'm just gonna check in with you every few levels of grit, just to show you what's gonna happen. I'll probably show you more early on so you can track your own progress when you try to do this. Do not be afraid of doing this. It will not hurt them. Literally after the first time you do this, it's a better pan. It's a better pan every single time. There is no point where you've kind of like destroyed anything. It literally is like here, and it just goes up. Every single pad you run makes these better. So don't be afraid of doing it. But that being said, I went out and I bought the cheapest, smallest pan that I thought I would use, an 8-inch skillet from Walmart. Very, very cheap. I think it was under 20 bucks for sure. And then I spent $20 on 30 pads, sanding disc pads, and some of my time, probably about 3 hours. And maybe you know what, when I get this one done, I'll try to put some video from that other one in this video because I want you to see it. But when I was doing the grinding on it, I just couldn't get that video to work right for human consumption. So here we go. Okay, I wanted to show you, this is the first 60 grit pad, okay? This is just the first pad, and let me tell you, I got my use out of this one. It is pretty much flat, and there's the backing for the sander. And like I was saying now, I'm gonna make a slight qualification here to what I said earlier, where I said, well, basically it's gonna be better after the first pad you use. And that's true, this is better. However, this is my little qualification. That is a round sander, and this thing has some square edges. All right, so I'll just say that in these corners, a little bit, I wasn't able to get rid of the original finish, okay? So, kind of worked to these edges, did my kind of best to get in there. You can see kind of a line where I was sort of grinding up on an angle with it, okay? Dremel or even hand sanding will do pretty good in these little edges, okay? But let me tell you, this is real nice. It's smooth, okay? Now, we're gonna keep going because I should be able to go over top of it. You can see my shadow, but what you can't see is you can't see me in this reflection. When we're done, I'm telling you, you'll be able to see, not a mirror finish. There are videos where guys refinish cast iron. You can find him. He uses like an angle grinder. He's got all kinds of equipment. He does it for a hobby. And I mean, when he's done, it looks like chrome. It's beautiful. This will not end up that way. But I wanted to keep going. I wanted to show you what one pad can do. Okay. I'm going to continue with 60 grit until I can clean up a lot of these deeper spots, because I basically got to remove the top layers until I can get down here to these kind of valley divot areas, so I can smooth it out with the lighter grit. Basically, I keep my lowest, most coarse grit on the sander until basically it's all pretty much all bare metal. There's a few little spots that are just deep. I'm not worried about them. But it's pretty much for me, it's basically my most coarse material until I can get it flat. And then from there, I polish. All right, so we're gonna keep on going, and I will check in with you later on in the process. Okay, so I've done 2 number 60s. Then I decided, with the way this was playing out here, I was going to want to get a Dremel. I've been needing one for a long time. So I went ahead and I picked up over here Dremel 4000, whatever. It's a nice little Dremel, and it's doing a nice enough job digging out these corners. But while I was there, I felt like I was leaving something on the table starting with 60. So picked up some 40s. These are, let me look, Norton. That particular one, there was 2 kinds there. There was zirconia, and there was ceramic. This one's a zirconia. These are quite a bit more expensive. There was 4 in here for $8. And there was, I think, 10 in here for $16. So they're more than $1 a piece, which is fine. These are generic, they're cheap. They are what they are. So I tried this one here. It lasted quite a while. And I mean, there's still some grit on it, but it's pretty much spent. And I'll tell you what, it worked. I want to try a ceramic now, a 40 ceramic. We'll see what it does. If it's better or worse, I'll check back with you. But after this, obviously, I've got to jump back to 60s for a little while. But that's where we're at. Okay. Check back in with you in a minute. I wanted to show you what kind of you're looking for if you decide to do this yourself. No matter what the pan is, if you took a look at this, what you were looking for here is what you see in the bottom right corner, right here. You see how this is kind of darker, and this is lighter? When you're doing your most coarse setting, whatever you got, 40 or 60 or 50 or whatever. Master Force from Menards has 50 grit for these 5 and 8 hole 5-inch hook. Some of them are called hook and hook lock, or they'll call it like hook and loop, whatever. It's Velcro. This here, if you come down in here with me, the reason it's kind of lighter gray is because it's a lot smoother. Okay. Versus come over here. I mean, to me, it's a little bit like the moon almost. You know, the lighter areas are the oceans, or they're really just smooth parts, and then the gray part's a bit rougher. So as I'm going, I'm waiting for this to happen, and you can see there's still a lot of texture there. Let me see if I can get you a better view, but you can see kind of in that light, you see there's still texture. Well, if you come over here, you can see the texture gets bigger, right? We're trying to remove enough material to get to the point where we got it smoother. So this is a bit of an eye thing. I'm sure there's a way to measure the unevenness. I know there is, flatness. But for my purposes, getting down to this is going to be about what I need before I can move on to the next highest one. You see stuff like this is problematic. It's pretty deep dent. So, you know, the question is, do you really want to go down that far? Probably, for me, no. But that's what I'm working on, so just keep on going. You can see I have a very small area. But once you get a little bit, it means you're getting close in a lot of places. All right, I think I'm about 3 pads in, or 2 or 3 pads in on the 100. So I've done a pretty good pile of 40s. I don't know, 6 or 7. Bunch of 60s, and then I think 2 or 3 100s. Not sure. Looks like 2. And, you know, it is what it is. It's getting there. There's some spots, I think, that had some rust. Some moisture got on there, and it's a little bit pitted. And I don't know if I'll be able to get deep enough. I obviously could. I just don't know if I want to. Let me see if I can get that in focus. There we go. Like that right there is kind of deep for what we're wanting to deal with as far as timing. And then this one over here is just real deep. See that monster? But these small ones like that, they'll fill in with some seasoning, and even if they don't fully, they're so far apart that I think they will be pretty inconsequential. There, I'm in focus. Now, this is the first point where there I am. That's my big mug, and there's my phone. Not just a shadow, but actually the phone there. So we're getting there. A lot more work to do, and I'm kind of tired of doing it because this is my second pan in 2 days. I will tell you that this Dremel can take a lot of material really fast, and I think that everybody kind of learns that. But way off in this corner, things got pretty rough because I was digging the corner out, and it's definitely too far down. So you don't have to do too much. A little dab will do you. I didn't want to wait till I had done like the whole top to start grinding away at these corners and then mess it up. Then have to get some kind of aggressive grit on the orbital to come in here and mess with this. So it's going to be so I kind of did it at 60 grit, and boy oh boy is it that a deep hole right there. So when you do this, choose when you want to do it, and do it a little bit at a time. See up here in this corner, another good one. This one I didn't do as bad of much damage. But how often do you cook into the corners? So I'm not that worried about it, but still be aware. The Dremels are pretty powerful. Okay, Happy New Year, everybody. This is the first. I took a few days off of doing this over Christmas to kind of not be out here. And so this, I wanted to give you an update because in my other video I had mentioned that maybe hitting it with a 120, 150 was kind of as far as it sort of went with that one. Obviously it did get a little bit smoother, but I think there was diminishing returns. So in the interest of that comment, I wanted to just show you. I hit this real quick. This is a 120 grit like 3 times. And it's in pretty good shape. I do have a Dremel now, and I did hit these really deep spots. See if we can get a decent look. I mean, those are hit with a pretty, there we go. A pretty coarse tool. There. And you can see it's cold out here. My fingers are leaving. I got a heater on, but it's cold. Anyway. So it's pretty doggone smooth. Let's see if we can do the old face test there. You can see my hand. There's my real hand way up here, and then you can see it right there. I guess that's a good angle. You can see it in the there. You can see my ring shining. Right, so not bad of a finish. At this point, this is 120 grit. So if you're thinking about doing this and you weren't sure that, you know, you wanted to go spend $80 or whatever on a whole bunch, let me bring you over here. I've got, you know, 2 boxes of 40, 60s, 80s, 100s, 120s. Bring you over further. I mean, I got 150, 220, 320. If you don't want to spend money on all of those, let's bring it back to the work here. You can probably get away with 120. I would definitely get a 40, 60, 100, and 120. That's my opinion. So if you wanted to get away with making this really nice without trying to go kind of mirror, which I'm not going to make it to mirror, but you know what I mean. You can go flap wheel. You can go as far as you want. But this is what 120 looks like. I'm going to get you down here. Maybe I can get you a decent angle. It's a focus a little bit. I mean, this is very nice, I would say. And this was an abused piece of iron here that had the original coating on it. And it had some rust spots. All these deep areas are where there was actually rust. I was hogging out rust. But you can see this surface is very nice, okay? I can feel little dents and bumps and stuff in it, but it's not... It is so much better than it was when I started, right? So if you're just thinking maybe you want to try something, you know, get a cheap one and try this out before you really spend a lot of money on stuff, this is 120 grit, okay? I'm going to keep going, and then I'll give you a little update at the end, just like I did the last one. Okay, so this is the end of the video for this flat iron here, but I wanted to give an update on the 10-inch from the previous video. So you can see here, my wife did a really good job seasoning it, and it has been used a lot. You can see that little spot there, and then that little spot there. Those are just blemishes in the seasoning from all the work this pan has done in the preceding week. This pan has been used for, we made eggs in it, we made a few grilled cheese sandwiches in it, we fried fish in it, deep fried them in oil up to about here, I think. And then we fried something else in it, basically without washing it. Just paper towel, wipe it out, a little bit of water. So cleaning this up after frying fish in it, which was perch, wet battered, and then we fried something else in the oil afterwards. It was some kind of dumpling kind of thing, pot sticker type thing. Was able to pour the oil out, turn on the water, just warm water. One piece of paper towel, just one piece. and you're just able to gently just rub out all of the stuff that was sticking to it. So it's working really well. Very happy with that one. And this one is still bare metal. And when I washed it, it definitely started trying to rust on me immediately. So you can see where my fingers have been since I washed it. So I gotta wash it again. But yeah. So this will get the same treatment as that. And I wanted to show you. This is the unseasoned version. You don't want to use that. This is what it looked like originally at the beginning of the video. You can see the seasoning that they have on top. It's suitable, but it's not ideal. This is much more what you'd like to see, I think. So yeah, so thanks for watching.